welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to be redoing the front porch. I wanted to do something that is kind of neutral but fresh and will last me through the warmer months, the spring and the summer months. So I'm skipping over the seasonal stuff over the warmer months. I'm not doing 4th of July and Easter or any of that stuff. I just wanted to be kind of a neutral, fresh aesthetic for the entire warm season. I just noticed, I realized in my analytics that about 25% of you guys watch these videos on your TVs. So I'll put a QR code in the top for any products that I use that you might be interested in. I've got some stuff from Amazon. I got a couple things from HomeGoods and Costco, and I believe that's it. I'm going to be incorporating things I already have, as well as incorporating some of these things that I've kind of been just picking up over the last couple of months. Let's go ahead and get started. The first thing I picked up is this wreath. I got a wreath from Amazon, and I wanted something that's, neutral. It's green, lush, and this is what the little insert looks like. So that's what it's supposed to look like. That's what it looked like on Amazon. So I was kind of surprised that it came in such a small box. It doesn't look very big, so I'm hoping it poofs up. I do have my steamer ready to go and heating up, so if I need to steam it to kind of like fluff it up a little bit, I can do that. And yeah, so let's just open this thing up. All right, so this is what it looks like out of the packaging. It does still, it's really pretty. It's stunning, you guys. I love it. Wow, I love it. It's very green, it's very fresh. So I'm just going to kind of like push down some of these branches and try to like fan it out a bit more. I'm going to give it a little steam to kind of like uncrinkle some of the crinkly bits, and we'll see how it looks when I'm done. Okay, so that worked out pretty well. I am going to pull off some of these, you can see like the hot glue. So I'm going to pull out some of these hot glue strings that I can see here and there. Clean that up. I did lose a little fruit. I don't know what this is, but some sort of green fruit, and I'm just going to find a spiky bit to kind of stick it to. All right, you guys, so this is the finished product, and I think it looks really cool. It's got leaves, it's got a lot of texture. There's some ferns, there's some eucalyptus, these kind of leafy leaves here, and then it's got these little berry things along with these little pear-shaped fruits. But I love it. I absolutely love it. I'm really impressed with it. So there we go there. So the next thing I'm going to do that is really important is I'm going to add these pads to the back of the wreath so that it doesn't leave marks on the door, because you know how it is when the breeze hits, comes through, it'll sway and swing your wreath and it just leaves these scrape marks on your door. And I just repainted that door, so I want to protect it. I have tried the kind that are circles that you stick to the back that way. It didn't line up with the size of my particular wreath. So I did pick up these. These have way higher reviews than the ones that are a complete circle. And I think these are just more versatile. You could use them on different sized wreaths. And this one is a pack of 18. So there's plenty in here for a few more wreaths. And these pads are really thick. You see how thick the pads are? They're really thick. So I think this will be good for protecting the door from any damage. And they are, I believe they're peel and stick. So I'm just going to peel it off, and I'm going to stick it around the perimeter of the wreath and hopefully protect the door. fun so far. Then the next thing I picked up on Amazon were these wreath sashes, and I couldn't decide which one to go with, so I got both and figured if I get bored with one, I could swap out for the other. But they're just stripes. This one's a black and white stripe pattern. This one is beige and white. Today, I think I'm going to go with the beige and see how that looks. All right, so it's very light, and it does seem to be a decent quality, so I'm just going to give it a quick steam since I have my steamer right here, and flatten everything out, and then I'll tie it onto the wreath and move on to the next thing. All right, so let's see how it looks. What do you guys think? Good? I like it. I do like it. And they do have another one here that you could use if you wanted to make like a bow. You've got enough material to kind of tie a bow up in there, you know? I think that'd be kind of cute. I don't think I'm going to do the bow for now. I'm just going to leave it as is. But let's go ahead and move on with the other items. All right, so these I got at HomeGoods, and I love them, but I couldn't decide which one I wanted. So I got both, and I figured that I'd see how it looks on the front porch, and whichever one looks best I'll keep, and then I'll return the other one because these are kind of pricey. They were at HomeGoods, but each of them were $49.99, and I got 2 of each. So we've got this one here. Let me move this out of the way for a sec. So this one here is like a tulip shape, and it's on a pedestal, and I absolutely love it. It is so cute. But I do like the other one too, and I couldn't decide, you guys. So you need to let me know which one you kind of prefer. But this one I thought was really cute, and it's big. It's just kind of a basket wicker weave, neutral kind of color. So I really enjoy this. It adds some texture and a little shape and added detail to the front. This one is also amazing, and it comes with this liner inside, so this one does seem to be a little bit better quality. That one it feels a little bit more brittle, but I do like the shape and the details of that one. This one also has some nice detail. It's got a little pedestal down here. It has a little bit of a curve up top with a kind of a lip, and it does have this liner, so if you wanted to do potted plants, that would work well with this one. So I'm not sure which one of these I'm going to use, but I do like both of them. I love both of them quite a bit. Okay, I had to stand up for this one because it's really tall, but this one is some flowers that I got for the front to put in the baskets, and I'm really curious to see how these look in person because they were quite pricey, but I got them on Amazon and they looked really nice. And wow. So these are hydrangeas, and I love hydrangeas, but if you are familiar with them, you know that they do require quite a bit of water and quite a bit of moisture, and they actually absorb moisture from their petals. So they will wilt very fast. They say if you get fresh ones, like fresh cut ones, to just douse them completely underwater and completely submerge them for a while, 20 minutes or something like that, and then bring it back up and then they'll be refreshed. But these are very hard to keep fresh, but these ones have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 hydrangea stems on just one thing. You know what I mean? So these, I think, it came in a pack of 12. You could get a 4-pack, a 6-pack, a 12-pack, I think. I believe I got the 12-pack. So it was quite pricey for all of them, but you do get 7 stems per bunch. So that's amazing. So I'm going to open up all of these. I'm going to give them some steam to kind of fluff them up a little bit, and then we will, I think that's it. No, I've got one more thing to show you, and then we'll go out to the front porch and start decorating. So while my steamer's heating up, I'll just tell you that these came in a bunch of different colors. It was really hard for me to pick what color to go with. They had burgundy, they had blue, they had lavender, they had pink, they had beige, they had pure white. I was so torn on which color to get, you guys, because they all looked so beautiful. I ended up going with the white and pink. So you can see there's a little bit of green in the petals and a little bit of pink in the here, let me cover my, is it focusing? There we go. So there's a little bit of pink, there's a little bit of green. They're just very fresh, you know what I mean? So I was really torn between getting the pure white and the beige, and I just felt like for spring and summer I wanted something bright and fresh, and it's got the fresh green shades and a little bit of blush, so it implements just a little bit of color without being too neutral and too like bland, you know what I mean? So this is the color I went with, but they did have a really gorgeous burgundy one that I think would be so pretty in the fall. So I might have to go back and get the burgundy ones for fall time, but these are just so pretty. Okay, so do you guys see the difference? Not much, actually. I mean, they're pretty good straight out of the box, honestly, but I do prefer them just a little bit fluffed up and freshened up, you know what I mean? But I feel like you really don't need more than like 4 or 5 in one of those big baskets. So I might not need all of these, and I might have to use some of them. Maybe I'll keep the tulip ones and use them on the balcony or something, but these are just, they're stunning. All right, I got to stand up for this one too because it's pretty big, but this I did pick up from Costco. It's these like, what do you call them? Topiary plants? I don't know. When I hear topiary, I think the round ones, but I don't know. Are these called topiaries too? I don't know what they're called. But I got them from Costco, and they came in a set of 2. These were also a little pricey, but not for what you get. If you look at how much these are on Amazon, the ones I got were about the same price for 2, and they're just like, they're just really small compared to these. These were really big and full, so I thought it was worth the investment. And these are ones that I could leave out there year round. I could decorate for them in the fall, the winter, you know, make it look like a Christmas tree. And they're also really pretty in the spring. But oh my gosh, how do we get these out? Back here, maybe you can see. Can you see how tall this is, you guys? Let me measure this. Where's the tape measure? Hold on. All right, I don't need a tape measure because it says here on the side of the box. So it is 48 inches tall. So if you guys have a Costco in your area, run to Costco and pick these up. I think these they're a little pricey, but they're a good deal for what you get. That they're so full and they're so tall. They're just, you know, they're just really good quality for an artificial boxwood plant. Boxwood plant, that's the word I was going for, boxwood. So I'm just gonna spread out the branches. Hey guys, this is 2 days later, and the reason for that is I was getting all the stuff together, I got it all out in the entryway, was about to decorate, and realized I lost my wreath hook. So I spent the rest of the day looking for the wreath hook, couldn't find it anywhere, went on Amazon, and I ordered these wreath hooks that are like the stick-on kind from 3M. And later that night, I ended up finding my wreath hook hanging in the garage. So I've got both. I was gonna decorate it all the next day, and then it was windier than you would believe. It was so windy, and I thought, I don't want to go out there and decorate. It's all just gonna be flying all over. My hair is gonna be everywhere in my face, and it's just not gonna be good. So it's windy today. It's still windy, but right now it doesn't seem too bad. It's just a light breeze. So I think it's a good time to go ahead and decorate. So let's go ahead and just get started. Oh, and before we get started, just wanted to show you that I did put some felt protector thingies on the back of the wreath hook because this can damage the door too. And I did a lot of work on this door to make it really nice and fresh with the paint job and all that stuff, and I don't want to ruin it or scratch it up. So I did put this felt foam stuff on the back to protect the door. So make sure you protect your door when you hang your wreaths because all that damage can really just thrash your door. All right, so the first thing I'm going to do is arrange the flowers a bit better because I just kind of threw them in there after I steamed and fluffed everything. So I do have some foam. Where did I put the foam? Here it is. So these are pretty deep, so I'm going to have to put something inside to give them some more height. I'm going to use this pot that I'm not using at the moment, and I'm just going to use one foam thingy on the top, and hopefully this doesn't all blow away. And just going to start sticking them in. That might be too high. Dang it. Put back in what I had before, and it's one of my daughter's old lunch boxes. So just push that down in there. That's better. Look at how full and beautiful this is, you guys. Oh, it's amazing. I absolutely love these. So I'm going to do the other one, and then we'll go outside and start setting everything up. So I'm going to lay out this rug. I've had this rug for a while, but just using what I already have. All right, so I have these planters here that I've had for a while. They're not particularly my style. I'd like to get something fancier, but these were very inexpensive on Amazon and they do the trick. I'm gonna have to tie it to this rail so the wind doesn't knock it down. So let's go ahead and get started. Up, so I need to get this thing tied down so it doesn't blow away. All right, so this corner is a bit of a struggle for me because it is not symmetrical. In a perfect world, I would put the other boxwood here and the flowers here, but then you've got this empty corner that's kind of weird. So I'm going to put it just directly in the corner. That's what I usually do. And hopefully, I mean, it'll be off balance, but it's, you know, it is what it is. All right, so this is difficult for me to film because I have to go down some steps. It just seems really not symmetrical to me. I mean, it's not going to be symmetrical, but I'm thinking it doesn't look the best. I'm going to rearrange it one more time and see how that looks. I'm not loving that either. I'm trying to trying to make an illusion that it's more symmetrical than it is. So I don't know if I should try to minimize the unevenness, the imbalance, or just embrace it. Okay, so I'm thinking it needs one more pot here. We need one more thing. So let's try that. I have some geraniums back here that I haven't used, so I'll fill this with the geranium. I already fluffed up these with the steamer. I have not done these yet, so we're just gonna make it work for now. I'll have to steam them later because I just don't have time right now. I think that adds a little bit more balance because it's clearly not symmetrical, but if you just put the one more thing there and kind of embrace the imbalance, it makes a little bit more sense. So I think I like it. Now the wreath. What do we think, guys? Oh, isn't it fabulous? Okay, so it's been a couple of days and I'm not loving how the porch looks. It's just off. It's not quite right. And I figured out what it is. So a couple things. For one, these wicker baskets here are just too big. They're too big for the space. This is not a big porch. If I had a nice big porch, then something like this would work, but it is just too big. These are a little bit daintier. They're not quite as large as these are. They're more bottom heavy, these ones here. So these ones just don't look quite so big. Plus it's kind of tulip shaped. So the circumference of the basket here on the inside is much smaller than these ones, these big old ones. They're much larger.
Second, they're too close in heights. So especially if you have a porch or a space, any space that's not symmetrical, instead of trying to make it look more symmetrical, sometimes it's best to just embrace the dissimilar symmetry. And part of that involves varying heights. So, well, even if it is symmetrical, they always say to clump things in threes, varying heights, and that same principle applies to porch decor, I think. So instead of having these two side by side, even with different flowers, I've decided to move the hydrangeas over into these smaller baskets here, slightly smaller baskets. And right here, I have some geranium flowers in this tulip basket here, and I've decided to put them in a pot. So I went down to HomeGoods and I picked up this really pretty planter. It's got like this beigey browny kind of floral kind of toile design on them, and it just breaks up the patterns. It adds a little bit more pattern. So I like to vary the patterns, vary the heights, and I think that's going to look much better. So let's go ahead and swap everything around. All right, let's see how it looks on the porch. All right, I think this is good. I think it adds more balance. Those ones that were there were just huge, and they were completely swallowing up this whole porch area. So I think this like slightly smaller ones is probably a better fit for the size.
All right, guys, that's it. Thank you so much for decorating my front porch with me. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you liked it. If you see some things that you like, I will link to everything down below. And thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.